Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Today I wanted to talk about any regrets on the exhaust that I've put on the Toyota Tacoma and what does it really do. You know, we're out here cruising around right now. Let me slow down a little below the speed limit. I got excited. Here you go. I'm going to give you a little blast, let you hear what it sounds like. There's a little blast. Boy, this thing really jumps up now, I'll tell you. But anyway, I was thinking, you know, do I have any regrets? I have bought a few different Tacoma exhausts in the past, always trying to achieve as close as I can get. And I know I'm never going to get there, but as close as I can get to that V8 grumble, that V8 sound, right? I say I'm never going to get there, of course, because the Tacoma does not have a V8. I'm well aware I'm never going to get there, but it doesn't hurt to strive to get there, right? So anyway, I've had others in the past. I had one that was particularly bad. I had it on the truck for just a short period of time, and it had a couple of different issues. One, it rusted like mad, and not to say that any aftermarket exhaust isn't going to rust. It is going to rust. This one has rust on the pipes already, and it really hasn't been on all that long. But the muffler rusted, and the welds, the seams and things had really heavy rust on this other one. But that wasn't the big problem. The big problem was the sound. It had a horrible drone at speed. I mean, so bad that you had to basically yell the whole time when you had anybody in the truck with you. I didn't like that. Now, of course, I could crank the radio up, but that kind of defeats the purpose, right? I put the exhaust on so I could hear it, not so that I had to turn up the radio to not be able to hear it. So that was a nightmare. It also was a single outlet exhaust. I love dual exhausts. I love seeing both pipes come out of the back. I made a compromise on this one because, of course, the pipes go out of the sides, but there was nothing I could find that would give me straight out of the back of the truck. Little caveat there, you could go to a shop probably and have them fabricate something, but now you're getting into a lot of money for something that's just going to rust eventually anyway, so not really something I was looking to do, at least not at the time. So I found this one. It's the Flowmaster, and I'll leave a link down below if you want to check out the specs and the decibels and all that good stuff. But it's the Flowmaster dual outlet exhaust, and what that means, it's a catback exhaust, and it splits and then goes off of both sides beyond the muffler. So it's not really a complicated system, pretty easy to install. I did it by myself. Well, actually, I did have a little bit of help at first hanging it up there and putting the pipes together. But in the end, you probably could do it by yourself. You just have to add an extra hanger up there, and that's it. Bolts right in, no big deal. So I've had it on the truck for a while now, and it's interesting some of the comments I get on the channel. I've gotten a couple from people telling me that during videos like this, they have a hard time hearing me. And I'm thinking, I don't know how that's possible. I play the videos back when I'm editing, of course. And also, while I'm sitting in the truck talking, I mean, I can hear what I sound like and what the level of sound is coming from the rear. So I don't really know how that's possible. Maybe it's a hearing issue on the other end. I don't know. Who knows? So I don't believe it's loud enough that it causes any kind of problems inside the cab. Do you have to raise your voice a little bit? I don't think you have to, and I'm talking about if there's a passenger in here. I don't think you have to, but I think because there's more sound coming from the truck that people think you have to. You know what I mean? I think it's just kind of a subconscious thing that when there's a louder noise around, you speak louder. It's kind of like when the radio's playing in the background. You know, people will raise their voice because they think you can't hear them, or I really think it's just a subconscious kind of thing. So I don't think there's any issues with that inside the cab. As far as the tone, the note, the sound itself, I really like it. It gives me the sound that I want from the truck. It gives me that throaty sound. Again, not the V8 throaty sound, but a throatier sound from the truck that of course I can hear when I get on the gas. And that's one thing I really like. When you hit the gas, you want to hear the exhaust if you're into that kind of thing. You know, taking off from a light, from a stop sign, pulling out from your house in the mornings. You know, I just want to hear that sound. And I always was disappointed before in any vehicle, this not necessarily the Tacoma, but when you get on the gas and you don't hear anything, you just hear this slight increase in decibel level, and that's about it. I think that part of the fun of getting on it and driving spiritedly is being able to hear that exhaust note. So how is this one doing in the truck so far? It's been fine. As I mentioned, there is a little bit of rust. There's actually a lot of rust on the pipes themselves. Nothing on the exhaust tips and nothing really on the muffler itself. So I'm not really concerned about longevity. I think it's a good quality system. What does it do for the truck? Well, you know, there's a lot of claims out there about aftermarket exhausts and cold air intakes that they're going to increase horsepower. The only way that they can increase horsepower is by reducing or changing the pressure, the back pressure on the engine. You know, does it open it up more? Does it let more come out so that the engine can work a little bit better? Simple explanation. It's minimal. I mean, when you talk about an increase in horsepower of 5 to 10, there's that exhaust taking off again. But from 5 to 10 horsepower, something like that, you're not going to feel that in the seat. I mean, if you hook the truck up to a sensitive machine, a dyno or something, you might register it there, but if you can't feel it, does it really exist? It's kind of like that tree falling in the forest thing. If there's nobody around and a tree falls, does it make any noise? Well, not if nobody hears it, right? So you really can't feel it too much, I don't think, if at all. And I think there's a bit of a placebo effect when you put things like this in. I've had people comment before, they put this exhaust in, they put that exhaust in, and it really changes the truck. They can feel it, and I'm thinking, I've done enough exhausts in my time that that's just not true. It doesn't do anything. Now, another little caveat here. When you change other things in conjunction with that, for instance, if you put a cold air intake that increases horsepower a little bit, and then you put an exhaust on that increases power a little bit, at some point you're going to cross that threshold where you actually do start to feel something. My truck feels pretty quick. Of course, I've got the cold air intake, the S&B cold air intake, I've got the dual exhaust, and I've got the pedal commander on it. So I've done a lot of things to kind of change the way the truck reacts, the way it accelerates. And I do feel something in the truck. I would probably say most of that is, if not all of it, is due to the pedal commander and the throttle lag reduction. But even so, having the exhaust does give me that little bit more to go along with it to make the truck feel a little bit quicker. So I think the answer to does it do anything, well, it increases sound, and in conjunction with other things, yeah, I think it does do a little bit that you can feel, although I'm still not fully convinced that it's not just a placebo effect for me as well. Who knows? Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. I get questions occasionally about the exhaust. Obviously, you can hear it during the videos, so folks wonder, you know, what it is and what it does. So there you go. That's what I think anyway. Leave a comment. Let me know. If you've put things on like an exhaust, cold air intake, pedal commander, is the truck different? Is it faster for you? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Mod Driven, all about the Mercedes-Benz, for now, and RobMotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.